Please adhere to YouTube's selected guidelines before viewing the content of this video. I do not encourage or condone any products, actions, or behaviors shown in this video. All videos are produced in a safe, professional, and controlled environment. Please do not attempt to replicate any actions performed during the video. All actions are performed by professionals.
Alright, so today I'm going to be smoking Sir Walter Raleigh pipe tobacco for the first time, which is something I've been wanting to do for some time now, as I myself am from North Carolina, and the capital of North Carolina is Raleigh, North Carolina. Was Raleigh, North Carolina named after the pipe tobacco, Sir Walter Raleigh, or was it named after the guy, Sir Walter Raleigh, as the pipe tobacco was? Well, the world will never know. Either way, I am very excited to try Sir Walter Raleigh pipe tobacco for the first time. Not only because it shares the same name as the capital city of the state I am from, but also because I've heard quite good things about this blend. And I've heard that it is very much a classic, easy to smoke, just overall solid blend. And so as such, I've wanted to give it a go for some time now and find out just how it is, what it's like, and what I think of it. And well, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing for the first time today. But what is Sir Walter Raleigh pipe tobacco? Well, it is a burley-based codger blend that has some added flavors as well, that was first introduced in 1927 and reached its peak in sales between the 1950s and 1970s, from what I can tell at least. Today, Sir Walter Raleigh as a blend and brand is owned and produced by the Scandinavian tobacco group Lane Ltd. And while Sir Walter Raleigh as a brand is certainly not as big as it used to be, it is still sold, and it is still very much considered to be a classic. And that's what Sir Walter Raleigh as a blend and brand actually is. I do suppose without further ado, I should probably go ahead and quickly cover the packaging that the, well, pipe tobacco actually came in. I should probably cover the look of the pouch now, shouldn't I? Then after that, I'm thinking I should probably go ahead and get the pouch all opened up, take a look at the inside, see what the blend itself looks like, feels like, smells like, and just everything like that. And then after that, I'm thinking I should probably go ahead and get some in my pipe, go ahead and, well, get to smoking and, well, find out just how good or just how bad, excuse me, Sir Walter Raleigh pipe tobacco actually is. As said, first off though, we've got to cover the packaging, which is a mildly rusticated look that is meant to look, in my opinion, more old style than not, even though it doesn't really end up looking that way. At the very top up here, we can see there is a clear line making up the edge of the pouch, and right below that, there is a black background. And on the black background in white, it just says Sir Walter Raleigh right there. Now, there's no copyright symbol or anything like that for the actual nameplate itself, which makes sense because, well, Sir Walter Raleigh as a name can't really be copyrighted, I guess. Maybe it can be. I'm not exactly sure, in all honesty, but what I do know is copyrighted is the portrait of Sir Walter Raleigh right here, as there is a copyright symbol just right there. This portrait is just a little bit of an oval with a white border, and then there's some gray and black making up the inside, and we can see Sir Walter Raleigh himself smoking a little bit of a pipe, wearing a little bit of a hat with a little bit of a leaf on it. He's got the neck ruffle thingamajig on with a nice drippy jacket, you know what I'm saying? He ballin', that is for sure. We're gonna ignore the fact that he's very much a controversial person. We're just gonna say he ballin', you know what I'm saying? We're just gonna say he ballin'. And we can see, moving on below the black background up here to the red, we can see very much a rusticated, sort of scratchy design. Of course, it's not actually a rusticated, scratchy sort of feeling design. It's just designed and printed to look like that. But right below the portrait right here, on the, well, red background, we can see there is a sort of shield or something like that. It's got like hard 90-degree corners up here and then like 30-degree angles down here with like, what is this? This is like 180 degrees or something. I'm not exactly sure what the math is behind this, I will acknowledge, but we can see it has a partially red background to it up here, and then a partially black background to it as well. There's like red, 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 black, 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 just like that, and then some white coming down as well. And then below that, in cursive, it just says Ever Fresh Pouch, with the pouch being stylized in print font instead. Ever Fresh is apparently a copyright as well. And then moving on below this sort of logo right here, we can see it just says pipe tobacco right there in black on the red background in a very basic font. And then under that, it just says weight 1.5 ounces or 42.5 grams. This pouch cost me $5 if I'm remembering correctly, and I feel like $5 for this much pipe tobacco is a pretty solid deal. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to the front of the pouch. I do suppose without further ado, I should probably go ahead and flip it over to the other side. Now, shouldn't I? And on the other side, we can see it's pretty much just informational, black background, informational stuff up here. We can see there's a warning label from the state of California. Then it just goes on to say made in Denmark, imported by Scandinavian Tobacco Group Ltd, Richmond, Virginia, etc., etc. Has a little bit of a logo right there, has the barcode down here, and that's pretty much all there is to the back of the packaging. Really nothing too special by any means. What do I overall think about this packaging? I think it is, it's okay. It's not like my favorite packaging in the world. I think old tins of Sir Walter Raleigh pipe tobacco from way back in the day look a lot better, I will acknowledge. But, you know, I'm just thankful Sir Walter Raleigh pipe tobacco is still around, and it makes sense why they would want this to look a little bit older and more rusticated than not, because, of course, the brand has been around for almost 100 years now, over 90 years now, over 95 years now, actually. So it makes sense why they'd want this to look a little bit more old style than not, per se. But I do suppose without further ado, I should probably go ahead and get the tape all off now, shouldn't I? And I should probably go ahead and actually get to looking at the pipe tobacco itself and what the inside of the pouch actually looks like. Overall, though, yeah, I gotta admit, I don't mind the packaging, but it's certainly not like my favorite pipe tobacco packaging by any means, and I do think it could be better. But it's not really like Sir Walter Raleigh pipe tobacco makes up a lot of sales these days, I imagine, and so as such, it is understandable why they might not feel the need to update the packaging when the packaging that's already on there works for what it needs to do. Now that I've got the tape all off, I'm just gonna go ahead and fold that right around. And I'm gonna go and just start taking a look at the inside of the pouch, and we can see a little bit more red right here, and on the red, there's some white text. It just says, a classic burley smoking tobacco savored by pipe tobacco smokers for 75 years. Is this telling me that this pouch hasn't been updated since like, it hasn't been updated in like over 10 years more than likely is what I'm hearing about this, because I'm like 1927, as of the recording this video is 2024. That means Sir Walter Raleigh as a brand name has been around for, what is that, 97 years, I want to say? So if it's saying 75 years rather than like 90 years or something like that kind of thing, then that means that this has not been updated in like, wait, the last like 20 years. I wouldn't be surprised if it actually hasn't been updated since like the early 2000s. This does look kind of early 2000s design-wise, in my personal opinion. It wouldn't surprise me one bit. But, yeah, classic burley smoking tobacco. And then it just has their website, which you cannot buy the tobacco on. I want to clarify. It's just an informational website. Let's go ahead and get it opened up just a little bit more, and we can see more of a design. Just says Sir Walter Raleigh pipe tobacco right there. An aromatic blend of burley tobaccos, excellent for standalone use or blending. And it says aromatic blend. This is not actually considered to be an aromatic tobacco. There is Sir Walter Raleigh Aromatic, which is considered to be an aromatic tobacco. While this does have some added flavorings, it is not considered to be a true aromatic, though I will acknowledge. But we can see the portrait of Sir Walter Raleigh right there, just once again, and a little bit of red as well. Let's go ahead and now get this pouch all opened up if I possibly can. And there we go. Now that I have done that, let's smell the tobacco real quick. And overall, I'm getting a very, I'd have to say, chocolate, brown sugar, burley tobacco-like scent. Yeah, very much, I'd have to say, yeah, maybe a little bit of anise as well. Not like an exorbitant amount, but maybe a little bit. Yeah, maybe just like a little bit of like anise or licorice, but not much. Definitely not as much as something like, let's say, half and half, which that was like the complete smell of. But yeah, very much that of a definitely predominantly burley smelling blend with, I'd have to say, in order, a sort of chocolate, anise, brown sugar, molasses-like smell, with the tobacco smell being kind of under all that. No, I'd actually have to say the tobacco smell is above all that. Yeah, very much burley tobacco with smell undertones of, yeah, I'd have to say, yeah, chocolate, a little bit of licorice, and the licorice is actually not super prominent. And it's definitely faded a little bit since I've opened up the packaging. I'd have to say, yeah, predominantly burley, chocolate, brown sugar, with then some ands/licorice. And that's my personal take on what this smells like. Overall, even though I'm not really a licorice person, this still smells absolutely fantastic if I do say so myself, because the licorice smell is not particularly intense by any means. It was a little bit more intense than it is now when I first opened this up, but thankfully not super intense right now. And just taking a look at the blend, we can see it is, I'd have to say, a medium to dark blend in my personal opinion. Definitely not a bright light blend, definitely more of a medium to dark blend if you ask me. And it is very much that of a loose cut as well. It is certainly not a flake, it is certainly not a ribbon cut. This is more of a loose cut, which is better for rolling than something like, let's say, a ribbon cut, just because the pieces are less long and they are shorter. But it is what looks like to be a very just rough ribbon cut, and that's essentially what a loose cut is. So I definitely think you could use this tobacco for rolling cigarettes, or, of course, out of a pipe as well. The moisture level of this tobacco is, well, I'd have to say just about right. It's not too dry, not too wet by any means. It's just about right in my personal opinion, as one would expect from a codger blend that is meant to be just open and go type of tobacco. And overall, yeah, smells good. Texture is good, very much that of a loose cut in my personal opinion. And overall, the moisture level seems fantastic. I definitely have to say the fresh seal pouch, or whatever they call it, seems to do its job quite well. Definitely seems to keep this tobacco much more fresh than not, even though I have had this pouch for a couple months now, I will acknowledge. But I do suppose without further ado, that I've covered all of that, I think it is now time for me to go ahead and get my pipe all out of my little pipe pouch I have right here. And I think I should probably go ahead and get my check pipe tool out as well. That's probably a good idea. Probably need both of those. I forgot to get both my pipe and my pipe tool out before this video. I was just so excited to try Sir Walter Raleigh pipe tobacco. What can I say? I'm going to blame it on that. Definitely not on me just forgetting to take it out when it's actually an essential factor of the video. But overall, yeah, quality of the tobacco seems to be pretty good. Let's go ahead and just take some out. Don't know how much I'm going to need, but I'm just going to take this much out for the moment. I'm just going to put that down on my rolling tray and move my camera back just a little bit, just so y'all can see what I'm doing a little bit better. Just like that. And let's go ahead and just kind of do that. And I'm not going to try to like stuff my pipe full by any means, but I am going to try to make sure I have a decent amount of smoking. And I'm not expecting this tobacco to smoke for a particularly long time by any means, I will acknowledge. Probably 20 to 30 minutes is what I'm thinking, even with a pipe this size. I have heard that probably the most comparable blend to Sir Walter Raleigh pipe tobacco is Prince Albert and Carter Hall. And I enjoy Prince Albert pipe tobacco a little bit more so than not. I find it to be pretty solid stuff, and it burns quite quickly, as do a lot of codger blends from what I've heard, and so as such I'm expecting this blend to burn quite quickly as well. It's certainly not a flake pipe tobacco by any means. If I was smoking a flake pipe tobacco out of this pipe, well, it would probably be like a solid hour and a half, frankly put. Let's go ahead and just put a little bit more in. I think I might have gotten a little bit too much on my tray, but ain't no biggie. Better too much than too little, right? And I'm just going to tamp it down just one more time, just like that, and I think it should be all good. This is very much the impression I'm getting from the blend so far with how it just packs into my pipe, is that it's very much as long as you put enough in there and pack it down enough, it will smoke well. And that's very much the impression I'm getting from it right now. Don't know if that's actually going to be the case, of course, but I'm hoping it will be, because that's one of the things I like about codger blends. No matter how you pack it, they just smoke well, and that's one of the things I like about them. I'll be completely frank with y'all. But gonna go ahead and see if I can get this tape back up now, so I can tape it back just a little bit, just like that. Got to make sure I can grab a little bit of a screenshot with the packaging and whatnot. Let's go ahead and grab my tripod once again, and I am, before I go ahead and get to smoking, gonna go ahead and get a sip of water. Always good to do before you light up your pipe. And now that I have taken a little bit of a sip of water, I do suppose without further ado, I should probably go ahead and get my lighter out of my pocket momentarily and go ahead and actually get to smoking. So without further ado, y'all, let's go ahead and get my first ever bowl of Sir Walter Raleigh pipe tobacco all lit up, and let's go ahead and get to smoking some Sir Walter Raleigh pipe tobacco for the first time and find out just what my initial impressions of it actually are. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying. Right off the bat, a different taste than I was expecting based on the smell. Also, a very, very, very open draw. I definitely think I should have probably packed this down a bit more than I really did. But that is what it is. Definitely very, very, very open draw, though. But based off the first couple seconds, this appears very easy to smoke. It seems like it's pipe tobacco that is easy to smoke, stays lit very well. And taste-wise, just initially, I seem to be getting like an oddly like vinegar-like taste, which isn't bad, and it's starting to dissipate. I can't remember what the last tobacco I smoked out of this pipe was. Maybe it was something that had a sort of flavor like that or something like that kind of thing. I'm not exactly sure. But oh, and for all my talk of it seeming to smoke easily and not go out very easily, it does appear to have now gone out. I am gonna just treat that as my starter light, and I'm just going to tamp it down and now do my official light. But we can definitely tell this stuff compacts quite a bit, especially once you light it up. But yeah, I'm getting sort of an oddly, almost sort of vinegar-like taste. I don't know if it's really, truly a vinegar-like taste. It might be something else, and I'm just not realizing it right now. But that's just what it comes across as initially. There are definitely some other undertones in there as well. I'm definitely tasting a little bit of sort of like baking cocoa / chocolate. I'm definitely tasting a little bit of sort of, I'd have to say maybe brown sugar in there as well, along with, of course, just burley tobacco. Yeah. I can definitely say initially, I definitely prefer the taste of this blend over something like, let's say, half and half. I just do not like the flavor of half and half. It's just not my thing. I definitely prefer the flavor of this over half and half. But that sort of vinegar-like flavor, which I'm not sure what it is. It's not... I thought initially that it might have been like the ands, and I think it might be. But it's coming across as being like a very overwhelming like vinegar flavor with an undertone of like ands or something like that. Like not quite licorice, but kind of licorice-esque. I gotta admit, I wasn't really expecting the added flavorings of this blend to be as intense as they are. I mean, like the sort of like coca flavor and the sort of like brown sugar, those are both very minor additions to the burley flavor that you normally get from unflavored burley tobacco. But that sort of vinegar ands flavor is just so intense. It's actually not bad. I actually don't mind it. But it's just, kind of taking me for a journey. It's kind of taking me for a drive right now, making me have to think a little bit because it's just not what I was expecting. But as predicted, though, very easy smoking, very smooth as well, definitely not rough by any means. And overall, I really don't mind the taste. I wouldn't say I truly like the taste right now. I wouldn't say it's like my favorite thing ever, but I don't mind it. I'll have to let y'all know as I continue smoking. And if I notice any more flavors, I'll also have to mention those, of course. Yeah, very interesting. Definitely not quite what I was expecting. Very interesting. I think I'm going to go and grab myself a little bit of a screenshot real quick for the thumbnail of this video. Got to make sure I grab a good thumbnail, right? So let's do that real quick. Well, hopefully one of those will do as a screenshot for the thumbnail of the video. We will find out. Definitely when you smoke it a bit hot, it gets a little bit tongue bitey. Not like terribly so. Definitely not like as much as even when you're normally smoking a Virginia blend or something like that kind of thing. But there's a little bit more tongue bite than normal when you start smoking it really hot, for sure, without a doubt, as is the case with the vast majority of pretty much all pipe tobaccos. But yeah, flavor-wise, it's definitely taken me for a turn. I'm trying to think of the right phrase for that is, and I can't think of it. It's definitely different. It's different than I was expecting. I can say that. Let me just put it that way. It's, yeah, very much out of a sort of like predominantly vinegar and anise-like flavor with undertones of burley tobacco, a little bit of like baking coca and chocolate, and then a little bit of like, I'd have to say like brown sugar / molasses as well. And that's very much what the flavor is as a whole. There's not like a particular amount of, there's not a particularly large amount of nuances or the flavor changing as I've been smoking so far, at least. Granted, I've only been smoking for like slightly less than 10 minutes, so it's not really enough time to really judge too much, but codger blends are not really known to be particularly nuanced, and my guess is that this one probably is not as well. Codger blends, they were designed to smoke easily, smoke well, and provide a nice taste that is to the personal preference of a wide market's preference. And that's exactly, I think, what this blend is doing. I don't think it's doing a bad job of that by any means. Yeah. And as I'm continuing to smoke, like, that vinegar sort of flavor is still very much at the top. It's what hits my tongue first, kind of thing. But the anise flavor is sort of starting to die down a little bit, and the sort of burley and, like, baking cocoa chocolate flavor is starting to come up a little bit more. Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. Definitely not wiping my nose because my nose be running just a little bit. It's a little bit chilly out here. It was like a high of like 45 today. In the sun, it felt like more like 55, 50, 60. But since the sun is starting to go down, it is now getting a little bit chillier. What I can say about this blend, though, is that it is, without a doubt, very easy to smoke. It stays lit very easily, and it is also extremely smooth. It is exorbitantly smooth. There's like really no roughness. I don't inhale my pipe tobacco, unless it's Kazami pipe tobacco. I'm smoking out of a Kisuru pipe. But I don't generally inhale my pipe tobacco out of a Western style pipe, I will acknowledge. And what I can say without a doubt is that, yeah, this stuff is very smooth. Even though I'm not inhaling it, sometimes even though I don't inhale pipe tobacco, sometimes I do still get a little bit of roughness in the back of my throat, kind of thing. This stuff, though, very smooth, stays lit very easily, and when it does go out, it lights up very easily. Once again, does not take much effort at all. It's just a very easy to like blend. It's a very easy smoking blend that has a very inoffensive flavor, besides the vinegar. But now that I've gotten used to it, I really don't mind it too much. I would definitely have to say, and this is expected, but I definitely have to say the most comparable pipe tobacco I've tried to Sir Walter Raleigh in the past would have to be Prince Albert. I'm not surprised by that at all. They're both burley blends with just a little bit of added flavoring. I'd have to say the Prince Albert is a little bit more inoffensive, just because it doesn't have that vinegar flavor to it. It's just more of a just burly sort of chocolate hazelnut sort of blend with maybe a little bit of brown sugar in there as well. This is a little bit different with the vinegar in the flavor and everything like that, but some of the undertones of the blend are still very similar to Prince Albert. So I'd have to say definitely the most comparable blend I've tried to the Sir Walter Raleigh pipe tobacco has got to be Prince Albert pipe tobacco, which is not really a big surprise at all, as said. This stuff as well, definitely not like insanely strong by any means. I'm getting a nice light buzz, but nothing really much more than that. Just a nice light buzz, not a particularly heavy buzz, but enough to keep me happy without a doubt. I wonder why there's that sort of almost vinegar-like flavor in there. The more I smoke, though, the more I'm like, I don't mind that. But that's something I've never gotten from any other blend before. Even Half and Half, which had a sort of Ann's-like flavor, a very licorice-like flavor, and I don't like licorice, so I didn't like it. It's very much one of those love it or hate it blends, and I was not a fan. But I see what they're going for with it. Even that didn't have a sort of vinegar-like flavor to it. This, on the other hand, does. It's very different. It's very different from what I'm used to when it comes to that flavor. Other than the vinegar flavor, this is a very codger-like blend. It's really not particularly super insane or out there or completely different from other blends I've tried before. It's a codger blend, so I'm not really surprised that it's just old reliable. That's what this blend is meant to be. It's meant to be old reliable, and that's what it's marketed as, and that's exactly what it is. But that vinegar flavor, while I've gotten used to it and while I don't mind it, in fact, I'm actually starting to like it. While I am starting to like that vinegar flavor, the fact that it's in there at all is still very interesting to me, as I've just never experienced a sort of vinegar-like flavor from any other blend of pipe tobacco before. Yeah. I can say, though, I don't mind Sir Walter Raleigh. I'll have to leave my final thoughts until, of course, after I'm done smoking. But I can say, just right now, I don't mind it. I'm enjoying this smoke today, without a doubt. Very smooth, very easy to smoke, lights up really easily, has a very inoffensive flavor besides that vinegar. And while it's not while it's not a blend with a lot of undertones, or while it's not an understated blend by any means with lots of flavor intricacies and everything like that, you definitely still can pay attention to the taste if you really want to, and you can notice the taste changing just a little bit hit to hit. At the very beginning, that vinegar-like flavor was definitely a lot heavier than it is right now. Like, it's still definitely the biggest flavor in the blend, without a doubt. But at the very beginning as well, there was a little bit of a sort of licorice anise-like flavor at the very beginning. There was a little bit of that. And then now it's pretty much completely disappeared, and now it's just like vinegar, burley tobacco, a little bit of baking cocoa / chocolate, and then a little bit of like brown sugar, molasses, kind of under there, I'd have to say. So there's definitely some flavor change going on with this blend. It's not quite just a blend and you get the same flavor all the way through. The flavor definitely does change just a little bit, but not much, not much. Definitely, though, does smoke quite quickly. That's not to my surprise or anybody else's surprise, I'll acknowledge. Yeah. Overall, yeah, good smoking, pretty solid taste and blend. I don't mind it. I'd have to say I don't mind Sir Walter Raleigh pipe tobacco by any means. And as I continue smoking, now that vinegar sort of flavor is starting to dissipate a little bit even more. It's still in there, but it's starting to dissipate. It's starting to be less intense than it was. And I wonder if that vinegar flavor is partly due to the fact that it was in the pouch for just so long. I don't know exactly when this pouch of pipe tobacco was manufactured, I'll acknowledge. But I'm guessing it's probably been a year, minimum. I've owned the pouch for, I want to say, 4 months now, probably. It's been over 4 months since the pouch was made, of course, without a doubt. And probably more like a year, honestly. I'm not sure, though. I can't say anything with certainty. And I know I said that vinegar flavor was kind of dissipating, but now it's actually back. Yeah. Yeah, to summarize how the flavor is overall once and for all, I'd have to say it's very much that of a predominantly sort of vinegar-like flavor with, at the very beginning, an undertone of like anise/licorice. Although that taste goes away as you continue smoking. And then under that, there is a flavor of, well, just simply burley tobacco with an undertone of a little bit of baking cocoa/chocolate, and then under that, some brown sugar and molasses. And that's really all I'm noticing when it comes to this blend. When it comes to flavor, at least. When it comes to this blend, when it comes to the flavor of this blend, that's really all I'm noticing. Not a bad flavor, a very inoffensive flavor if you ignore the vinegar, and a blend that just smokes well. It's inoffensive, it smokes well, it works very well, it gives you a buzz, it smokes easily, it's all reliable, it's an old codger blend, and it's pretty solid. I wouldn't say it's my favorite codger blend I've tried so far by any means. I definitely have to say I still prefer Prince Albert, as that tobacco does not have a sort of vinegar flavor to it. And as said, I've kind of gotten used to the vinegar flavor. I don't mind it per se anymore, but it's still a flavor that if I'm going to be smoking a blend of tobacco, I'd still kind of much rather not have that flavor in there, in all honesty, but it's not bad. I don't mind it. It's in there. I'm going to deal with it. It doesn't matter to me that much, but if I had my choice between Prince Albert and Sir Walter Raleigh, I'd be choosing Prince Albert, pretty much just because there's no vinegar flavor in it. Actual quality-wise, when it comes to smoking, I'd have to say Prince Albert and Sir Walter Raleigh are about the same. They smoke about the same, at round about the same pace, kind of thing. There's really not too many major differences in how they smoke between the two of them. The main differences between Sir Walter Raleigh and Prince Albert really is just the flavor. And overall flavor-wise, I'd have to say I do prefer Prince Albert just because there's not that vinegar flavor in there. But Sir Walter Raleigh is certainly not bad by any means, and I definitely do prefer it over half and half. And over some other blends I've tried previously as well. It does appear to have gone out once again, though. I was talking there just for a minute, so I'm not terribly surprised. Just going to go and tamp it down, light it up. Once again. Yeah. I ain't got no complaints on my behalf. And that sort of vinegar flavor is definitely kind of in and out. It's not always super intense. It's kind of mild sometimes, and sometimes you almost don't notice it at all. But it is overall there more so than not. Yeah. I can definitely say I'm very glad I tried Sir Walter Raleigh pipe tobacco. I'm very glad I gave it a go. Found out how it was. and found out what I think of it, because I think it's definitely a worthwhile, very classic blend for me to have given a go to. And I think it's given me a slightly better idea of what classic American old codger blends are really like. And I'm saying codger blend in the most positive way possible. I'm just using it as a reference of an old drugstore blend that is meant to appeal to a wide audience and is meant to smoke very easily. And that's basically what I'm referring to it as. I realize there's some blends that have been around longer than Sir Walter Raleigh and stuff like that kind of thing. But I don't consider them to be codger blends because they're not quite the classic idea of a codger blend in the United States. Yeah, this blend, it doesn't smoke too hot. It doesn't smoke too cool. Lights up easily. It just works. This blend, seriously, it just works. It really does. It tastes solid, smokes solid. It just works really well. It's very inoffensive. It just works. And that's exactly what a codger blend is meant to be. That's exactly what Prince Albert does so well, in my personal opinion. And, well, Sir Walter Raleigh Pipe Tobacco does it well as well, if you ask me. Yeah, I ain't got no complaints on my behalf. Just enjoying a nice buzz, enjoying the nice flavor from the Sir Walter Raleigh Pipe Tobacco. Enjoying my evening now. It's no longer daytime outside, so I'm now enjoying my evening. I certainly can't complain. And I don't think we really have that much more left. I think we've probably just got a little bit more left. So next time it goes out, I think I'm just probably going to dump it out. I have been smoking now for over 25 minutes, and I was expecting this to be around about a 20, 25, 30-minute bowl. And that seems to be about right for a guess. Trying to bless some smoke rings. Let's see if I can do it. This is a good blend to do smoke rings with because it just smokes so easily, and because you also get a good thick amount of smoke, I'd have to say as well. I had a couple in there. I'm pretty happy with that. Nothing really with that one, but I got one or two smoke rings with the last one. So I'm pretty satisfied. No complaints on my behalf, just stretching. Oh, man. Oh, that felt nice. Always good to stretch every once in a while. Got some smoke rings going, enjoying a nice blend. Man, it's a good night. It's a good night. I got a nice buzz going. It was, I'd have to say, overall, the Sir Walter Raleigh pipe tobacco, it's not a particularly strong blend by any means. I've certainly had stronger blends. But this blend, definitely, you keep smoking and you keep smoking with it, and it definitely kind of builds up over time, and then it hits you before you realize. And I've got like a pretty solid buzz going now. It's not like huge by any means, it's still more of a medium buzz than not, but it's a solid buzz nonetheless. It's certainly satisfying my nicotine needs, I will acknowledge. It certainly is. Yeah, smoking this, it's easy to see why Sir Walter Raleigh pipe tobacco still exists today. It's easy to see why it's been a thing since 1927. It's easy to see why it was so popular back in the day between the 1950s and 1970s, I'd have to say. It's easy to see why it was so popular. Smokes well, tastes good, easy to smoke. What's there to complain about, right? Ain't nothing to complain about. You can definitely think about this blend if you absolutely want to, but I'd have to say the Sir Walter Raleigh is best as a just puff on it and enjoy the flavor type of blend. When you're doing like something else, if you're working, if you're driving, I think this is a very solid blend for that. There are certainly blends I would not want to smoke while I'm driving just because I have to relight them a lot. Sir Walter Raleigh and Prince Albert are both blends that I'm like, yeah, I think I could drive and smoke this at the same time if I was on like the highway with the windows up and stuff like that. I think I could smoke them and drive at the same time. It's just that easy to smoke. There's certainly blends I would not want to smoke and drive while enjoying, though. Or try to enjoy while driving and smoking. Or it would just not work very well. I'd get it lit up while I'm at a stoplight, and then I'd never be able to light it again. Whereas with Sir Walter Raleigh, it's just like, all right, yeah. Here. While I'm driving, it'd be easy. It takes no effort to light up, and takes very little effort to smoke. And you can just enjoy the flavor and get a nice buzz. And I think that was about it. I said I wasn't going to light it up again because I think that was about it, and I'm pretty sure that was literally it. And yeah, wow, this stuff is, there's like no tobacco left. Yep, there was like the tiniest bit of tobacco left. Not much though, really not much. We pretty much completely smoked that to fruition. That was around about a, what, 35-minute bowl, I want to say? It's definitely not a very long bowl by any means. Definitely a lot shorter than not, especially when compared to many other pipe tobaccos on market today. But codger blends do tend to smoke a little bit faster than a lot of more boutique or, well, just like I don't want to say major market blends, because pretty much all pipe tobacco these days is non-major market. It's all niche these days, including Sir Walter Raleigh pipe tobacco. But this was designed in an era, and this was designed for an era where pipe tobacco is almost as, if not just as popular than cigarettes. And that's just not the case today. Cigarettes really are the main mass market tobacco product in the world today, with cigars following, and then if you want to count snus, probably snus after that, and then probably pipe tobacco. Although I'd have to say it's arguable about whether pipe tobacco is bigger than snus in the world today. I would have to say, just because I want to say, yeah, probably. I hope so, let me put it that way. And when I say snus, I don't mean just tobacco snus. I also mean Zin and stuff like that. Although I think it could go one way or the other. But this type of blend, where it's I mean, like most tobacco blends that are being introduced today are more boutique blends for a very niche audience. Blends that are just meant to be daily drivers and are meant to be smoked day in, day out. They're not really too much of a thing anymore, kind of thing. They do still exist. There are still companies making blends like that, like Cornell and Deal, for example. They still do blends like that. But a lot of blends that are more popular today are not really blends that are really, really, really easy to smoke while you're working, and they're not day in, day out, 365-day-a-year blends by any means. There are still blends like that out there, like Sir Walter Raleigh, some of them being newer than Sir Walter Raleigh as well. But it's becoming more of an uncommon thing for sort of just day in, day out, 365 blends to be a thing, and that's exactly what Sir Walter Raleigh is. And it tastes good. It's nothing insane, but it tastes good. It smokes really easily, smokes very well. When you're done smoking, you have pretty much nothing but ash left, and it's just a great smoking blend that is very inoffensive, tastes good, and just smokes easily. And for that, I really like it. I really like Sir Walter Raleigh pipe tobacco. I also really like my blends. I want to clarify, I want to acknowledge, I also really like my blends that are harder to smoke as well, that are maybe not to everybody's personal preference. I love my Straight Virginia Flakes, for example. Straight Virginia Flakes are notoriously difficult to smoke sometimes, especially like Samuel Goth Straight Virginia Flakes, which I am a pretty big fan of. I really like those. They can be very difficult to smoke sometimes, I will acknowledge, but they taste fantastic, but they're not to everybody's personal preference. If you enjoy pipe tobacco, you probably won't mind this, if you don't mind burley at least. And it's just a very inoffensive, easy-to-smoke blend that is hard to hate. It's hard to dislike, I will acknowledge, and that's exactly what it's designed to be, and that's exactly what it is. And for that, I appreciate and respect it quite a bit. Overall, yeah, I gotta admit, do I like the Sir Walter Raleigh pipe tobacco? I do like it. Am I gonna be smoking the rest of this pouch? Yes, I most certainly am. But do I prefer Sir Walter Raleigh pipe tobacco over Prince Albert? I do not. I do not prefer Sir Walter Raleigh pipe tobacco over Prince Albert, but I certainly prefer Sir Walter Raleigh pipe tobacco over Half and Half, which I don't particularly like very much, I'll acknowledge. That is very much a love it or hate it blend, I will acknowledge. But I do like Sir Walter Raleigh pipe tobacco, and when it comes to codger blends that I've tried, number one is Prince Albert, then it's got to be Sir Walter Raleigh, and then after that I probably have to say it's Half and Half, although Half and Half is going to be consistently at the bottom of the leaderboard. I've only ever really tried like 3 codger blends. Well, no, I've tried Five Brothers too. I'd have to say, actually, probably Prince Albert number one, then probably Sir Walter Raleigh, then probably Five Brothers, then probably Half and Half. Five Brothers is really good, but it's It can be too much sometimes. When it comes to a when it comes to a blend that I want to smoke all the time, Prince Albert's at the top. Then I can see Sir Walter Raleigh being right under that. But yeah, no, overall rating wise, I'd give the Sir Walter Raleigh pipe tobacco a solid, like probably 3.2, 3.3 out of 4. It's something I would absolutely buy again, but it's not like the best thing in the world. But it works for what it's supposed to be, and it does a very good job at doing what it's supposed to be. And it's a style of pipe tobacco that is slowly disappearing as pipe tobacco becomes more niche, more of an enthusiast good, and as pipe tobacco moves towards more boutique blends, which, don't get me wrong, I love. I love my harder to smoke, amazing tasting blends that you keep smoking and every hit you notice something new. I love my boutique, my small brand pipe tobacco blends. I love them. I have nothing against them. I love them. But I also really enjoy my codger blends that are just really easy to smoke and not think about. And that's something that I really feel like could disappear in the next 15, 20, 25 years or so. I feel like codger blends might not really be a thing to any real degree in the future. There might still be some that are meant to be like codger blends, or some like super large codger blends like Prince Albert and Sir Walter Raleigh may make it through, but it's certainly a style of pipe tobacco that isn't becoming more popular by any means. And I'm very glad that I'm able to appreciate Sir Walter Raleigh and codger blends today. I'm very thankful that I'm able to. And it's something that I'm very glad that I smoked, I will acknowledge. Solid blend. I enjoy it. 3.3, 3.4 out of 4. As said, something I'd buy again. Not exactly my personal favorite codger blend I've ever tried, but still something I really enjoyed. And a very solid blend overall that I definitely am planning on smoking the rest of the pouch of. Certainly no complaints on my behalf. I love my boutique blends. I love my codger blends. And I'm very glad to have smoked another pipe tobacco today and to have tried another one and added another one to my list, I will acknowledge. What do you guys think of Sir Walter Raleigh pipe tobacco, though? Do you guys like? Do you guys not? Let me know in the comments down below. I enjoyed it, but do y'all? Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of it. And of course, also make sure to, like and subscribe for more content. And if you guys have enjoyed watching this video, I have my Instagram, my book, my merch, my P.O. Box, and my other channels all in the description down below. Go check them all out. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, y'all. Till the next one, stay safe and peace, and have a great one.